No, it's all you. Oh, you directed this, so you can go ahead and start. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you guys all coming down. You guys having fun so far? Thank you for all the parents for helping with the treats next door. It works out well. You guys did a hell of a job this year. I appreciate it. You guys were all very, very respectful. It looks like we're going to have one heck of a year next year. If everybody actually is coming back this year, we're going to end up with they're in a fishbowl. You guys want to come in?
No feeding the animals in the window.
Do not pat him.
I'm stuck.
So as of right now, it looks like we're going to have, if everybody that's existing comes back next year, it looks like we're going to have about 21 registered kids for next season. It's going to be one hell of a group. You guys were very easy to teach this year. I got to still throw it back to my main core group that started it with me last year. You guys were all phenomenal. Everybody else that's added this year just brought it up that much better. And next year, we're going to have our hands full. I did figure out next year I am creating an intermediate division. It is going to be a step up. It is going to be an invite only. There are going to be requirements. There's going to be stuff that we need to do to cars. I'll have probably rules drawn up in the next few weeks after I pound my head against the wall a couple more times and figure it out. I just came to fruition last weekend that we were definitely doing it. So now that I have confirmation, I just got to figure out how I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it, and why we're going to do it. Obviously, why is because of you guys. You know, you make it easy enough to keep wanting to do this. I don't have to pull my hair out every week. For the most part, all of you listen other than Woodburn. So it'll be fun and easy to move forward out of this. You know, you guys have all grown this year. Dwight grew a lot this year from when he first started. He came up and stepped up his game a little bit, if you will, and started paying attention more and more and more. Matthew, he stopped running people over. That was a good thing. So now he's settled down a little bit and is getting a lot more consistent, and I think that he's going to be a good start for next year. Jenna, she came back after having her little reprieve. A little skeptical at first. She was a little nervous, but she finally got into the swing of things and you know, showed us how it can be done and consistency. You know, you guys, everybody that went to Wiscasset and to Hudson, we all had fun, and I hopefully look forward to having everybody come back next year and join the next group. I'm working on trying to get, just so that way everybody knows, for the rookies, I'm looking to try to get some rookie-only practices on Sundays. And obviously I'm gonna try to start it out a couple of weeks prior to everybody else coming back. The step-up division, I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm gonna pull it all together. Once again, you guys work with me and I'm gonna work right back with you. You guys are all flexible and understanding. I try to communicate anything and everything that's transpiring. I don't make decisions solely. I try to incorporate all the parents, and that's what we're gonna continue to do moving forward. All right, does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
What do you say about the division stand about?
Start
first.
It's still going to be very much the way that you guys are now. You guys will still be a part of
It's
the
going to be a very
first group and
yeah, it's going to be a very structured thing still, to a point. My step-up division is going to entail getting racier, lifting speeds, making weight regulations, car regulations. So it's going to be a little bit more to it, and it's going to be more of a, you know, full race car and race going on. Okay, there's still going to be a speed limit restriction because obviously I don't need you guys to get over your heads, but all at the same time that speed is going to be great enough where if you throw this car into the corner and you don't lift, you're gonna be in trouble and out visiting rust nutting in the woods somewhere. So it'll be good for you to be able to learn to lift and go in through the corner and maintain your line and add more stuff and more responsibility in your heads while you're driving this car. And obviously try to figure out how to get around the person in front of you as well at the same time without wrecking them. We'll get a feel, and obviously it's gonna be a learning curve, just like last year was, which last year was a learning curve for a good handful of you. It was a learning curve for me, for all the parents, but we got through it. And obviously this past season, we were able to show that and keep moving on. And I wanna maintain the fact that you guys are one of the most talked about divisions. And it's not just most talked about at Star, it's the most talked about at just about every racetrack in New England. I hear it constantly. And it's all positive, nothing is negative, and that's the way we wanna maintain it moving forward. Now it's time to show what you've learned for the last 2 years, all of you collectively, that it's time to move on and step up. It'll also show the guys that don't go to the next step yet. It gives them something to look forward to and push towards. Hey, listen, I need to pay attention and stop screwing around because I want to be in that next division. I don't want to be sitting here. So, and when I do create that, there's going to be a mandatory at least year in the Star Troopers before you're allowed to even be thought about being invited to the step up division. You guys all have that right now, just to let you know. There's some of you that are ready to go, some of you that aren't ready to go. There's probably some of you that after a few races, you'll be asked to go. But we're gonna play that by ear and kind of get a feel for it. Practices and that type of thing, just to let you guys know, we're still gonna intermingle them to a point. Not for nothing, I need some of the senior drivers, so that way we can show the new guys coming in. We're gonna be able to work with them and practice with them and get them to hold lines and get them to do what they're supposed to do. Just like we taught you, just like we taught you, just like you still haven't learned. But we're gonna still need those seasoned drivers. We're still gonna get you the step up division, we're still gonna get you guys track time, because you have to learn. You have to learn where you can lift it, how to roll that car through the corner. Yes?
Are there gonna be points in the step up division, like first, second, and
No,
third?
sir. No. Do you know why?
Because you don't want competition and parents being mad at each other?
Yeah.
Did you have this talk already, Pete?
The second you put that type of, the problem with this is, once again, it's a learning division. And I've caught so much slack over the speeds, and the no trophies, and the no points, and the no this. And I hear that negative portion of it, or I did, especially the first year I started this, I heard that all the time. And people just didn't get it, they didn't grasp the concept. The concept isn't for points, the concept isn't for winning and losing. I mean, you guys all have your own winners and losers amongst yourselves of who crosses first, right? You guys all say congratulations to each other, right? But at the end of the day, you guys still go run around the pits and play together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the second you introduce competition to that, it's not really the kids that we have to worry about. It's all the fools in the back. Because for some reason, something triggers, oh, and up here, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Me and you are good, Jay.
Window liquor over here.
He's the worst.
What happens is the second you try to introduce that competition, something clicks in their little brains, and all of a sudden now it's, what can we do to make the car better and go faster and do this and do that, and the last thing they think about is you guys and safety and whether you're learning. The idea of Star Troopers is to get you guys so that way you can drive a car. You can go bumper to bumper, door to door. You can do what you guys did on your last race, which was go 15 to 20 laps, door to door, bumper to bumper, and not wreck, which is amazing. And you guys all have common courtesy with each other, you have patience, and you have respect. There's still passing, isn't there? Can't you pass? You can pass, right? Can you guys pass? Gage can't pass. Gage throws pass the flag. But, you know, you keep it like that and you learn more out of car control and consistency, holding the corner low and rolling through every single lap. You get faster, don't you? It's all about learning consistency and car control. The second the parents get involved, now all of a sudden it's motor and suspension and tires and expense after expense after expense after expense. And what do you learn?
Throttles.
How to work on the car.
You learn nothing. You don't get anything out of it, right? So that's why we don't do the competition. Same thing with the step up. I'm not gonna create that competition. I don't want it. I want you guys to be able to respect each other when you dive into a corner at 55 miles an hour. That you're not gonna hold it right on their bumper like Pete does to me out here on the go-kart track.
But I did see you telling him to.
Yeah.
That was Jared. I was
You kept,
Jared to
you
try to
just
catch
kept
up.
egging him on, Jay, come on.
But that's, I want you guys to be able to, in the step-up division, we gotta be able to still maintain that respect and that car control and have common courtesy, and now learn how to handle that speed, learn how to handle the brakes, lifting, when to lift, how to roll it through the corner, when to pick the throttle back up out of the corner, so that way you guys can continue to grow. That way we can step you up out of this whole mess and throw you to the wolves, so that way all the nitwits that are already there can show you how not to do it. But the second you throw that competition in, you might as well throw the program out, because it won't work. Ask the WizKids director 10 years ago, right? Before it was all regimented? 10 years, maybe longer than that.
Yeah, it was longer than that.
It was longer than that? How long ago was it now?
Closer to 15, yeah.
15 years?
Yeah.
So 15 years ago, the WizKids at Beach Ridge, just to let you know, were unrestricted. There was no really rules, and they were building stroker motors and doing all kinds of wonderful stuff to these cars, making them pretty much a mini stock. Didn't care really about safety, didn't get
No
into-
Hans device back then.
There was no requirements, no containment seat, no nothing. She hit the back wall and she was paralyzed. After that, they decided to get it structured, because the parents were gone wild on the cars and took all the safety stuff away from the kids and didn't remember what the program was for. So that's another reason, obviously, why we have structure groups, like what you're in. That's why you're able to do what you can do. So, anybody else have anything? JR has nothing to say?
What?
Not yet.
Okay.
I do have registration forms here. Today will be the last day at the, well, unless you mail it in to me, at the discounted rate, so. Even the step-up division needs to register. But it is $20 until the 27th, so.
Anybody else have anything?
What's it go to after that?
In case someone else.
I don't, the
After
registration
the
fee
start
is
for
simply
seniors, you
Star
can go to wherever
Speedway.
you want.
Believe it jumps to
We have
30.
nothing to do with the registration fee, so it goes to whatever the Star Speedway regular fee is, so I don't know.
What is it right now?
30.
Fine.
Thirty.
Now, what's ours? Ours is
Ours
20?
is 20.
So after this, it's gonna jump up to 25 and then it'll.
No, we're going 20 to 30.
I thought it was jumping, no, okay, never mind, sorry.
So it'll go to the 30, and the registration fee goes to Star Speedway, not to us.
Any other? Perfect. In that case, you want to start over there or over here? So we might as well get tea and medicine. And everybody clap at once. You get stand right.
They gotta
He
kiss
doesn't
you.
yell at you. So this year, we have for you one of your shirts. We have for you nice jacket. To wear.
How's the back look like?
Black.
Quiet in the front.
Then we have a yearbook for you, okay? It gives you a full picture book, and that's to sign autographs.
So there is 2 pages in everybody's book, just so you know, for you guys to have your friends sign some.
It'll be worth something someday.
And your gas on your bag, your hat, and your water bottle.
So you better handle that.
Winter hat.
I know.
How many years is this your first year in here? Are you coming back?
Do your parents say it up?
Good job, thank you. This little boy is gonna need help.
And you spilled my drink. Great job.
Jackson's become one heck of a little shoe. He started with us last year. You still have a little shoe. I think here shortly, Jackson may or may not be, if he's coming back, you coming back?
He registered today.
Nice. The drivers are on here though.
Oh,
The number.
Holy cow.
that'll fit him for a few years.
Yeah, the jackets are on the big side, so.
That's all right. Better on the big side.
Jackson's got a couple of years under his belt. I think after maybe a handful of getting back onto the track and getting them acclimated, Jackson may be one of the ones that will be coming up with us as well, if he so desires to. Just don't. All right, thank you.
You said Jay.
Please, that way people can see it. She can't see it though.
Very classy.
This gentleman surprised me today. If you guys all go out, you better go take a picture of it, because his car is actually on a trailer. It left the track, I can't believe it.
It's being a wrap next year.
Woody,
You're gonna
quiet.
come back next year?
I think you said that last
You're gonna wrap your car next year, do a nice big cab?
No, we're gonna roll it, paint on again.
So, this is yours as well, thank you, sir. That's for you. No? Are you coming back next year? Did I ask you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna wrap your car?
No.
Yes.
Oh, so you are gonna get a new wrap on your car?
No.
Yes.
You got enough hands?
It's gonna look different, don't worry.
Why? 'Cause it's on the
Yeah,
trailer?
ready? Over here,
Smile.
minute. Take it in.
Hey, you're already wearing these shirts.
Smile.
It got dirty. He had to chain the car down, it got dirty.
Sweatshirt? Well, now he's got a jacket. Mr. Roberts, this young gentleman came to us this year as well. Don't look so thrilled. So this young gentleman came to us in an oversized car that he did a very good job with. I think he did rip the front flappy off, and you can hear it going down the front.
Yeah, well, that's
Awesome.
Jenna.
Oh, that's Jenna. So apparently he was pushing Jenna around on the front. This is yours. So hopefully he will be coming back next year, and his sister will be actually joining us next year as well. So that way his sister can show us how to get it done.
Is she here?
She is here.
She's running around
Where is she?
somewhere
Oh,
else.
she's outside. Okay. Congratulations, buddy. Thank you. This young lady has been with me personally for a couple of years. We've raced, and she joined us this year, and hopefully maybe next year she'll come back. Her sister does some racing. This young lady is ready. Come on up, for this young. Come on, Brooke. Sit down. See what happens when you try to go fast. This young lady was part of the Whiz Kids with us when we were up there, and she's done one heck of a job. This is a bit different than the Whiz Kids. I think, did you like it more? She is a woman of
She
few
likes her
words.
parents.
She's not like a typical woman for some reason. She hasn't said anything much. Hopefully, Brooke will be coming back next year and joining us. Brooke is probably with a little bit of work. For those folks that I believe would be good to go for hopefully our step up division as well. She's been doing this 4 years? 4 years now. Obviously, I know she's new to us. Jason obviously trucks down from wherever they live in East Gitchville. Buxton. Yeah, so she's got a small hike. Do you know where you live? Do you speak? Thank you. You got your hands full. Congratulations. So let's go over here. Mr. Terrio. As well as been a couple of years underneath his belt. He's been with us in his roll painted car. It's roll painted, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh, what was that?
Great.
You sprayed it?
Pain.
Oh, I thought you rolled it.
No,
Are you gonna hold this?
it was a nightmare.
Alright, so Dakota's been with us for 2 years since the beginning. He is coming back next year. Are you getting a new car next year? You are getting a new car? Do you know what color it's gonna be? Do you know what it's gonna be? Is it a Mustang?
Either a Cavalier
Cavalier or a Mustang? You're in. Hopefully, hopefully you'll remember to put gas in it.
I'm gonna drive it on the road.
Charge the battery.
My wheel car, there you go.
Take race car? Hey, say you want to take any.
I'm not gonna drive it on the road.
Somebody call it.
We do have, just to, obviously Holden, and you guys can feel free to look through these books as well, okay? Holden was very much a part, he couldn't be here today. Holden was very much part of the Star Troopers. He did obviously start this season, did a heck of a job as far as being as young as he was, and he was very consistent. We do have these things for him. Is anybody gonna see him sooner than we are? Anybody who lives near him? Okay. So we do have that stuff for him. The Matthew. Mr. Hurdo. This young gentleman started off this year after he tried to run Larry over. We slowed him down a little bit, got him to pay attention and do a good job. He did one heck of a job up at Wiscasset Speedway. Hopefully this year he'll continue to do a good job.
Part of the rules on coming back is pictures.
Yeah, thank you.
Requirement.
And a
And,
smile.
You can
And a
show Mama
smile
who's
and a
number one.
smile.
There's your smile.
Nah.
All right. Smile.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
Joey.
in there.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
I was in it.
5 years.
Oh, more years.
Okay.
Turn on the AC. I think it's because she's leaning up against it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I don't feel it either, so.
That's what you need.
Think through all this
Hey, it's
stuff.
the guy that did the homes. I wonder
This
who that
young
is.
gentleman has black marks all over his car. He should have orange marks all over his car because no matter how many times I would put cones out in the middle of the corner and everybody else would drive by him, this guy would at least take him down for me. Every single time. Come on up, Joe. There you go, that's better.
Comes Joey Fraser. That's his new name.
Hopefully next year, Joey will be joining us. I think Joey's another one that after a little bit of time, we can probably jump in and be able to join. I know he is coming back, he's already registered. And hopefully he can keep up with everybody else and keep his nose clean.
And not hit the toes.
Oh, I don't know about that, I get This young lady has finally decided to come out of her shell, and she's no longer in this motor vehicle. We already sold this. It's going to be coming back next year. This is yours. This is yours. She's obviously been doing this for a number of years as well, but she will be driving a Mustang next year. She's going to take her sister's car over and try to get her feet wet in that, see if she can't get acclimated and keep moving on. And hopefully she can stay away from walls.
Now the go speed.
Hey, you gotta say something. That's the only thing she is gonna come over is she is gonna talk to Tyler next year.
That's the best
This young gentleman, if he didn't have bad luck, he had no luck. He couldn't keep his car running towards the end of the season very well. I felt bad for him at Hudson, because the car was going good for a little while. But you guys did a very, very good job. Thank you. So hopefully they got the running stuff squared away. You're joining us next year? Perfect. So they'll be coming back next year as well, and hopefully we get some more time underneath your belt and keep moving you up too. What do you think? Good idea? You man a few words? You still haven't really talked to me. He doesn't talk to me. I don't wait. You should judge your character. Congratulations. This young lady doesn't have this car either. She decided that she didn't like it, and she figured the fastest and easiest way was to wreck it, and then she could get a new one. Just wait until she gets rid of the one that she has now to get another new one.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Jay.
You're more than welcome. Thank you, young lady. Here you go, my friend.
Joey.
This young lady, or whatever, yeah, come on up here. We haven't quite figured out what she's doing, but time for her to move on. I'd like to throw her out of my house like I'd like to throw her out of my division, but. Hang on a little bit. Congratulations. Move over. We have one of the most important awards. This gentleman donated a lot of his time, a lot of his energy, followed us around. I thought he was stalking us from track to track. He followed us here.
No, that's his mom. I'm stalking you.
Paige Osborne.
You were supposed to get for the banquet, the Star Speedway banquet.
And this here's a little thank you. So that way you can hang this on the wall with the two memories.
Look, look, look. You gave your girlfriend the German flag.
Burn it.
That was very nice. So you don't like the picture we gave you?
No, I like it. I'm just gonna cut that out.
Obviously, we also have. Thank you, Sid. Very appreciate it. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
another one.
stretch
Sorry,
out.
another one. Yeah, that's another one.
So that's.
That's today's show.
Alright. So this young lady thought she was a ball of fire when she first came in 2 years ago. She was like a hurdle at first. She's gotten more consistent. This young lady is started paying attention and listening a little bit better towards mid to end of year. and figured out where a corner is and how long to stay. Right?
Thanks.
So, you round right here. Hopefully Brooke will come back to us next year. I don't know whether she's decided to or hasn't decided to, but hopefully she does, and it'll just be able to make that program that much better. You've gotten a lot better over the last 2 years, and obviously the seat time is what shows it. So thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Joey has some things that he'd like to pass out.
Joey,
Yes.
where are you? Come on up.
You gotta come back here.
Snacks for us, Joey?
Oh my God.
Big boy.
No snacks.
Big boy, Joey Frazier.
Good job, Jim.
Or,
I'm warming up, don't worry.
To rack number 1.
Joey, why don't you call them all up one at a time and have them go up
Okay,
there?
can I please get the other brat? You.
Joey, gotta give a speech with it.
Yeah, Joey, why don't you say something about it?
You were a brat. Good job.
There you go.
Jackson's a little one.
It's not the size that matters, my Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even say that.
This one.
That's vicious.
This one. Come on.
What's this one's name?
don't say one thing. Don't say one thing.
Jenna.
The shy one.
No. Zip it. I love you.
Everybody knows who they are.
Good job. Welcome. The other Brooke. Also good job. Very proud. This one's to me. I'm very good. Thank you. Very proud of myself. Kaden, the awake kid. This your wicked dance. The other tiny one.
Joey.
Yeah.
Can we open it? I already opened it.
Yeah, the other tiny one. Other tiny one. There you go. The third tiny one.
Third time.
He's not here. Good job to him. Matthew. You know Matthew?
Wait, you got Christmas?
Colin. Is that right? Very proud of you.
Joey, come on. This is Tegan.
Well, that's what it said. Mother!
Oh, Tegan.
Watch it.
So Dad.
Man, can you be your husband, please?
Joey, call it a GA. Make it run next year. Something. Telling stories.
It is like 150 degrees in here.
Yeah. I can feel the wind coming in.
Yes, you. The guy that taught me not have to hit the codes, but he did a bad job.
You better go back up front.
I got a present for you.
Hey, Jack.
What is it, good?
Is it a TV?
Yeah, this is yours. We're actually having a coffee and
You have to open
I
it.
got another one.
Open that one first.
Let's do it with the tie down.
Definitely a big picture or a TV.
I got.
Let's see what
I was thinking I'm about to fall asleep.
So this is why everybody had to write letters.
How did you know that? And then put the liner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, Jay, this is your second picture. Amanda. It's Jay there, Amanda. Come on, you get
Now you can want to put them.
Man, what are you doing?
Right
You like that? Taking pictures. Taking paper.
As we get all the kids to actually do that.
I've been waiting to see that.
Put up high.
Put it up high, so everybody can say. Hold on.
see mine.
Okay, get in with it. Get in with it.
Yeah. I've been waiting to see the
But
final.
that's fine.
And on the back, I wrote twos in each letter. So later on.
Is that Matthew? That looks like Matthew that's scrolled backwards.
Thank you, guys.